Victoria will be in lockdown within the next 48 hours.
This morning,
has
I've
decided
declared
to
a
enforce
state of emergency
a nationwide
in the province of
lockdown.
Ontario.
All of Italy is now going to be under the same condition. All of Italy now, in effect, quarantined.
Today, a state of national emergency has
In
been
response
declared
to Spanish Prime
across
Minister
New
Pedro
Zealand.
Sanchez
To
has
unleash the
declared
full power
Saturday
of the
a
federal
state of
government in this
emergency
effort
for the
today,
next
I am
15
officially
days.
declaring
This
a
evening,
national
I must give
emergency.
A very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
A visit to St. Lucia is an unforgettable experience. It is one of Zululand's hidden gems, nestled in a World Heritage Site along the Elephant Coast. St. Lucia offers you an incredible amount of activities and things to do in the area. And if you are a nature lover, then this is the place to be. COVID-19 happened, and the various lockdown policies of countries around the world changed realities of our visitors. It also changed the reality of our small village and its inhabitants, who are totally dependent on tourism for their livelihood and survival. I have interviewed a handful of people in the tourism industry, as well business owners in the town, discussing their reality, expectations and positivity that they have for the future once current lockdowns start easing, and their hopes for when the world opens up to travel and tourism again. What are your expectations around tourism after lockdown, when borders open up and international flights start landing at our airports again? Will it be a bounce back or a slow recovery?
Once we have moved to level 1 and international travel can resume, I expect a slow and careful recovery with small numbers of overseas guests returning to South Africa. The news that is prevalent in Europe is that Africa as a continent and South Africa as a country is yet to brace the worst of COVID-19, and they are very aware of the poverty and hunger that adds to our challenge here. Another challenge for people may be the rules and regulations imposed by their countries on people who travel internationally to Africa. And should they travel, will they need to go into quarantine upon return? And then there's the fact that many people overseas have also depleted their savings with nothing left for exotic holidays. And so people will weigh things up and decide whether the risks are worth the benefits. And although I believe that there will be adventurous guests who will decide, yes, it's worth it, I think the majority of people will just wait. I expect that with luck and by showing the world that we have the matter in hand, we may be able to have a decent Christmas season. Prices will be cheap for overseas people and hopefully tickets as well. Then for 2021, we will probably see a slow increase of bookings for later on in 2021 and for 2022.
What types of bookings do you expect to be getting after lockdown? For example, self-drive versus organized group safaris, and what type of recovery are you expecting to see, if not already, with people planning future holidays?
It is now June and we're still at level 3 here. So at the moment, because it's summer holidays starting up in Europe and people there are enjoying the sun, we normally don't have many bookings and inquiries to begin with. And especially now with the COVID-19 crisis, we get hardly any inquiries at the moment. What we do see though is that all the tours we had to cancel this year, people have been very happy to postpone them rather than cancel. So most of the tours will start happening next year again. And I think once South Africa has reached level 1, which means borders are opening, it's a little more sense of security, and overseas people can see that South Africa has the situation under control, then I do think that people will start to inquire quite a lot again. People in Europe, in my opinion, still have money. The government has been looking after their citizens there. Very few people lost their jobs. They didn't really have to dip into savings too much, in my opinion. So the money is still there. The desire to travel is still there, especially since most people can't travel this year anyways. So basically, a lot of the bookings from this year have been postponed till next year. So that's a good thing. And then secondly, once we have a sense of security here, we will see that people start booking hopefully for next year and the year thereafter as well. Which will mean that, yes, we will have a very bad year this year with many losses, but we can hopefully recoup some of these next year by having an extra good year with doing all the tours that were cancelled now and with all the new ones hopefully still booking.
How will the COVID event affect your meet and greet procedure and the welcome and treatment of guests arriving at guest houses falling under the Pelican Collection banner?
For those that don't know, the Pelican Collection is an association of guest houses in the St. Lucia and Matupatua area that work together to market tourism to deal with government issues as a group and also to set service standards within the association. Meet and greet protocols have changed dramatically due to the COVID pandemic. We now follow guidelines set by the Department of Tourism as well as the Department of Health. Guests arriving at a guest house will first undergo a screening process to eliminate obviously ill guests. The screening process includes a questionnaire and every guest will have their temperature taken and everything is recorded. Once that is done, guests will be asked to use hand sanitizer and their luggage will be sprayed with disinfectant before they enter the guest house. This process does take a bit more time than the minimal paperwork easy arrival system we had in place previously, but for the health of the guests and of course our staff, this is currently the pragmatic course to take. You will, however, still get the warm welcome that the Pelican Collection guest houses are famous for.
How will your safaris be affected post-lockdown? Do you expect to have fewer people per vehicle to cater to social distancing? How do you plan on accommodating this?
For us in the tour sector, luckily EuroZulu Tourism Safari has done an elite tour for the last 4 years since we've been in business, and which means we actually do take less guests on the vehicle. It's obviously a more elite tour. So for us going forward, we could actually limit it to even less people on the truck, obviously make it a more exclusive tour. Also doing private tours, obviously sanitation. We do have on all our vehicles, we have actually installed the sanitary sprays. We also, all the vehicles are washed and sanitized after each tour. And obviously all the equipment that is used on tours also sanitized and cleaned every day before and after the tours go out and come back.
As I publish this video, the wave of the coronavirus begins to take off in South Africa. The months ahead are going to be a challenging time for us all, and for some a lot more than others. In spite of the harsh reality the town has had to deal with, there is a proactive approach towards building a future out of the COVID ashes. Guest houses, lodges and local businesses are committed to surviving this and being here when life returns to post-COVID lockdown new normal. The current situation also unites people in an emotional and spiritual sense by providing opportunities to care for each other. We are a small community largely dependent on tourism for our survival, but in spite of a huge financial loss to local residents and businesses, I see a community rallying together to help those less fortunate than they are, irrespective of their own losses. Meals and food parcels are provided to the needy, masks are made locally distributed to anyone that needs one, and the community is even disinfecting high traffic areas in town. The impact of lockdown will and has bitten deep, but the spirit of this community and their support of one another is flourishing under incredibly challenging circumstances. We look forward to a time when we can welcome our guests back to this very unique and beautiful corner of the world along the elephant coast of KwaZulu-Natal.